God places everything he has for you in your imagination. So if you've been dreaming of your own business, if you've been dreaming of a summer home, it's because that's what he got for you. He places everything he has for you in your imagination. And then to quit worrying about how to get it done. The how-to is none of your business. The Bible say, ask, believe, receive. Now you got to be willing to work, but he don't require you to figure it out. The how-to is none of your business.
We all have promises we're standing on. It's easy to believe at first, but what happens when nothing is improving? Before the promise comes to pass, you have to go from I believe to I still believe. You're not discouraged by how long it's taking. You know God is still on the throne. What he promised is on the way. God is looking for I still believe people. All the facts say it's impossible. Your attitude is, that's okay. God can do the impossible. Maybe you tried to accomplish a dream. No doors opened. That's all a part of the process. God didn't give you the dream and not have a way to bring it to pass. God didn't change his mind. He just needs some I still believe faith. Don't get talked out of your dreams. The negative chatter, the people who don't believe in you, the environment you were raised in is not going to stop your destiny. Your time is coming. It's not too late. What God put in your heart is still on the way.
God has a win. He's not making this up as he goes. He's not just responding to your moods, your attitudes, and the things your friends say about you. You are not at the mercy of your detractors. You are only at the mercy of the timing of God. God has a watch and a timer is on it, and it's already set. Everything is on schedule. Don't worry about your purpose. Worry about your season. Because when you get in your season, your purpose will be clear.
Now, here's what we know. That people don't do what they know in life, but what they do is they operate within the context of the vision they have of themselves. So one of the first things I ask you to do is I want you to look at your life right now and think about something that's important to you. Think about something that you'd like to have or something you'd like to create for you or your family. Now, one of the first things I want you to do is don't worry about the inner conversation that you're going to have. Don't worry about how you're going to do it. That's going to come. You will find the way. You'll become the kind of person that can attract the people, the resources in order to make that become reality. But I want you to be mindful of your inner conversation. I remember once I was sitting in an audience and Zig Ziglar, he was giving a speech, and within myself I said, I can do that. And I leaned over to the guy next to me. I said, how much do they pay him to do that? And he said, $5,000. I said, I know I can do that. And then on the way home, when I was driving back to Miami, Florida, my inner conversation kicked in. And it said, Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have a college education. You don't have the money. You don't have the contacts. What makes you think that you can make more in 1 hour talking than you've made working for a whole month? How many of you have ever thought about something you wanted to do and you talked you out of it? Raise your hand, please. The wealthiest place on the planet is the graveyard. Because in the graveyard, we will find inventions that we never were exposed to, hopes and aspirations that were never acted upon. Because most people allow that inner conversation to keep them from ever pursuing their goals. Why is it that most people don't ever reach their goals or live up to their true potential? One is fear, like the fear of failure. The next is the fear of success. I was working on a major project. I panicked and I walked away from it and gave it to someone else because I didn't believe that I could handle it. So that a lot of people become comfortable. They stop wanting anything. They become satisfied. I remember after giving a speech at a major corporation, a gentleman came up to me and he said, you know, that's real great motivation for you young guys, but I've done all my work. I said, oh yes, you've got a lot to give. The fact that you're still here means that your business is not through yet. The other thing that keeps us from reaching our goal is not feeling worthy. Because see, when you don't feel worthy of your goal, you will begin to unconsciously engage in self-destructive behavior, like procrastinating, something else that keeps us from reaching our goal, and that is we spend so much time complaining and blaming everybody. I'm reminded of a friend of mine who talked about the fact that one day he was walking by and there was a dog on the porch, and this dog was just moaning and groaning. And he asked the owner, he said, "Why is this dog moaning and groaning?" And the owner said, "Because he's laying on a nail." He said, "Well, why doesn't he get off?" He says, "It's not hurting bad enough for him to get off." How many of you know people who moan and groan and complain about life? They might moan and groan about their job. "I'm sick of this job," and never do anything about it. They haven't got to the point where they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. No, that can't get you where you want to go. That cannot create your reality for you. The other thing that keeps most people from realizing their true greatness and their true potential, circumstances.
Are you letting your circumstances talk you out of what God put in your heart? God still wants to bring it to pass, but you have to get in agreement with Him and say, "God, I still believe it can happen. I still believe I can start my business. Joel, I tried and it didn't work out." That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. You have to have a made-up mind that you're going to believe until you see that promise come to pass. The odds are against me, but I still believe I can accomplish my dreams. I was raised in dysfunction, but I still believe I can set a new standard.
Given my circumstances, ladies and gentlemen, I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. No one could have convinced me, given my circumstances, given my background, that I would be doing what I'm doing right now. When I was in 5th grade, I was identified as EMR, labeled educable mentally retarded, and stayed in that category until I got out of high school. But here's what happened. I had an intervention in my life. A man who saw something in me at a time that I did not in myself. And he asked me to go up to the board and write something on the board. And I said, "I can't do that, sir." He said, "Why not?" I said, "Go up to the board and write what I'm about to tell you." I said, "I can't do that, sir." "Why not?" "I'm educable mentally retarded." He said, "Don't ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality." That once a person's mind is expanded with an idea, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. Some of you are going to go back and look at your dreams and brush them off. Whatever goal that you have in mind, I want that to be a goal that will challenge you. What is it that you looked at some point in time and you decided that you couldn't do it? Bring it back out there. How are you going to do it? That will come to you in due time. See, you don't get in life what you want, ladies and gentlemen. You get in life what you are. You've got to begin to take a look at your life and look at where are you right now? What gives your life a sense of fulfillment, a sense of joy? What is it that you could love doing 7 days a week? In all the areas of your life, your professional life, your personal life, your family life, once you begin to determine that, that takes you to the next step. And that is, now you've got to decide that you deserve that. Repeat after me, please. I deserve the best that life has to offer. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, "Find your purpose." Do you know by actively pursuing your purpose, it could perhaps extend your life? The number one killer of all the diseases we have, heart disease. The truth of the matter is that the majority of people suffer their first major heart attack on Monday morning between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. People getting ready to go to jobs that they don't like. You see, when you're not pursuing your goal, you are literally committing spiritual suicide. You've got to believe in yourself. I was doing work for a major corporation, and they were having a major downsizing. The people working there, they approached them and said, "Listen, we will give you a buyout package of $300,000 if you take it within this time frame." Ladies and gentlemen, only 50% of the people that were eligible took this. If I'd been there, I'd have gone to ask for your check. I would have taken that money so quick and had other people checks. See, ladies and gentlemen, life is too short trying to play it safe. Here's the thing. You can't get out of life alive. So there's no safe position. You can die in the bleachers or you can die on the field. You might as well come out on the field and have a good time, right? So you got to be bold in life.
I'm telling you right now, what I'm finna tell you if you apply it right now, can change your existence. Because everybody I know want to be happy. Everybody I know want to be successful. If you don't want them two things, there's something wrong with you anyway. So now here, there is a scripture that I'm going to give you. It's a very small scripture. It's very short. I don't even know where it is in the Bible. Somebody probably know it if I say it, but I'm going to give it to you. This scripture changed my life. You have not because you ask not. If you up your ask, he automatically ups his give. You his child. God created you. He made you. You ain't just here by no accident. You ain't here because of your mama and daddy. Where your mom and daddy come from? Somebody started this whole thing. God created you. He gave you these little simple things you could do. You have not because you ask. 2 and 2. Go home and read that one. It says, write the vision and make it plain so that he who reads it will run to it. And even though it tarry, that means take a long time, wait for it. For surely it will come at an appointed time. Man, I'm telling you real now. I'm telling you works. This ain't no magic trick. If you up your ask and you write everything you want from God on a piece of paper. Now here's the exercise I want you to do. This gonna trip you out. Write everything you want from God on a piece of paper. Be as detailed as you can. Write it down. The object for you is to write down 300 things. Because I know 300 things that you could use. It's gonna be hard for you. When you get to number 75, you're gonna get stuck. Because your mind isn't conditioned to think way out there. So you're going to try to stay in your little list. But I want you to just open up your imagination. If you could have anything you wanted, put it on a piece of paper. Anything. How many cars? What kind of car? What color? Where you want your next house to be? Do you want a summer home? Where you want to travel to? How much you want in the bank? How much would you like to have to retire? What you want to leave for your grandkids? How much would you like to give all your siblings? Would you like to one day walk in there and just give all your family a check? Put everything you want on a piece of paper. Do not stop until you have 300 things. It's going to take you a while. I'm telling you, when you get to 75, your brain going to lock up. But keep writing it down. But every morning, read your list. I don't want you watching TV at night. I want you to read your list, unless it's Family Feud. Other than that, No, but seriously, take 5 minutes and read your list every night, every morning. 1 year from today, wait 1 year from today and take a pen out and go down on your list and check off anything that has happened for you that's on that list. Listen to me. If you do that in faith, if you read your list with the expectation that God is going to do some great things for you, at the end of 1 year, you will be stunned, absolutely stunned at how much stuff comes off that list. I promise you, at least 30 things will be off that list. At minimum, 10% of your list will come true. You know how I know? Because I know a lot of people that have done it. But you know how I really know? Because I did it. When I open up my phone, I wish I had it. My phone is my vision board. My phone ain't got a picture of no damn dog on it, no sunset, none of that. All of my computers have my vision board on it. Every iPad, tablet I got, laptop, when I pull it, I have my vision board on it. Because that's the signal I'm sending to God that I believe this is what you're going to do for me. I take stuff, I got to get a new vision board now because there's a lot of stuff off that vision board that I put on there a year ago or 2 years ago that then came true. I'm telling you, y'all, this how this works. You have not because you ask not, and write the vision and make it plain. You do them two things starting today. Write your list, read it every morning, every night. 1 year, check it out. You'll be stunned. I dare you to try that. Watch and see what God do. God keep all his promises. I'm just telling you. Thank y'all.
What I'd like for you to do right now, I want you to think about your dream. Think about your dream right now. I want you to think about it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me share something with you. I do not believe that any of us have dreams that were not given to us for the purpose of accomplishing those particular dreams. I started out, as was indicated, very humble beginnings. I don't know what that dream is that you have, I don't care how far-fetched it might appear to be. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream that you're holding in your mind, that it's possible. See, sometimes we can't say, I can do that. But what we can say, that I can have my dream. As we work on it day in and day out, no one, ladies and gentlemen, could have convinced me when I started out working on my dream, and I want you to think about whatever your dream is. I was willing to take a chance, and most people won't do that. Most of the people that you talk to, these are not risk takers. Most people have done all that they're ever going to do. They raise a family, they earn a living, and then they die. But people who are running toward their dreams, life has a special kind of meaning. That in the process of working on your dreams, you are going to incur a lot of disappointment, a lot of failure, a lot of pain, a lot of defeats. But in the process of doing that, you will discover some things about yourself that you don't know right now. That you have greatness within you. That you're more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine. That you're greater than your circumstances. That you don't have to go through life being a victim. I was born in Miami, Florida, in an area in an abandoned building on a hard linoleum floor with my twin brother. We were adopted. When I was in 5th grade, I was identified as EMR, labeled educable, mentally retarded, and stayed in that category until I got out of high school. But I met a high school teacher who one day changed my life. I was waiting on another student. When he came in, he said to me, young man, go to the board and write what I'm about to tell you. And I said, I can't do that, sir. He said, why not? I'm not one of your students. He said, it doesn't matter. Follow my directions. I said, I can't do that, sir, because I'm educable, mentally retarded. And he came from behind his desk and he looked at me. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality.
I just make mine so simple that it really doesn't have those complications. If on your goal list is a ranch in Montana, and you say, well, if I worked hard and maybe it's my second year of following an entrepreneurial project and I'm doing fairly well, I think maybe I could accomplish that in 5 years. Sure enough, if good things happen, it's down to 3. If it takes me a little longer, maybe that's off to 10. But I just leave it on my list, not to make it an obsession. And then maybe the more I think about it, say, no, not a farm in Montana. You know, an apartment in New York on Park Avenue. I think I'll change to that. I think that makes it easier. Let that inspire you. If goals inspire you to higher achievement of things and occasions and places you want to go and things you want to see and people you want to meet, if only a little of it comes true, but all of it served as inspiration along the way to do better and work harder. So maybe some of these goals will be closer than I thought now. It looks exciting. All of that serves you well. Who cares how close you got? Who cares if you set 200 goals and only got 10? It doesn't really matter. And I think if you make it that easy on yourself, tear up the list if you want to, start over. I've gotten some better information now. I'm not going to go for that. How about something else? I think that's the key. I make it easy. Make a list of what you want and start checking off the things that are easy to get on your list. A lot of little things that you start checking off, and then let the rest of it all unfold. But you might as well dream about, having an upstairs maid and a downstairs maid. If you happen to visit a rich man's home and say, wow, that's the life for me, I'm going to put that on my list. The guy's got a limousine and a driver. You say, wow, someday that's for me. And then later you say, no, this limousine and driver deal, that's not for me. But let it inspire you in the meantime. Why not? Even if you change your mind, threw that out, put in something else. One of my friends brought me on his Learjet the other day from San Jose to Van Nuys, close to my home. I thought, wow, it'd be nice to have a jet like this. But I think it only seats 4 people or 5. It's really small. Then he's got an 8-passenger helicopter, pilot and a co-pilot and 6 passengers. It's the latest state-of-the-art, fine machine. Then I thought I'd like to live in a mansion and have all the stuff. But then I go visit someone who's got the mansion and the security and the servants and the groundskeepers, and this whole house is just almost like chaos. And you have a cup of coffee and you drink it and you can't even set your own coffee cup down. Somebody comes and takes it away. And I say, with my temperament style, this is really not for me. I've got to live a little more simple life. But for someone else, a house full of servants and groundskeepers and security and the whole entourage, that's for them. But if they wanted it, and later change their mind to live a little more serene life, then that's okay too. Did you ever get that mansion on the hill with all those servants that, yeah, I went for that for a while, but the more I went to some places where people lived like that, the more I thought, no, this is really not for me. Having my fishing line in a tranquil stream in Montana, I think now suits my style a little better. I did a seminar in each city in 13 cities a month. I had the elaborate entourage. It was unbelievable. One day I decided, someday I shall have no office, I shall have no secretary, I shall be free. Sure enough, that day finally arrived. People ask me now, what is your email address? And I say, I do not have one. I do have a website that someone else runs, but I have really simplified my life. A company that I do a lot of business with around the world asked me, do you want an office? I said, no. I said, do you want a secretary? I said, no. Then I did say once, yes, I'm going to have this satellite and put a fax machine in my motorhome so that I can be in touch but out of reach. I want somebody to say, yes, you can contact him, but you can't find him for a while. He's not gone forever, but he's gone for a while. So I do seek solitude, chances to get away. My farm in Idaho, overlooking Snake River, is a great place to get away and deal in agriculture and build a few homes. A little change of pace from flying all around the world. It's exciting for me. But for now, right, I have no office and no secretary and no email address, and so I managed to escape most of it. And I think you just have to really make the hard and fast decisions. I did a speech one time, and the title of my speech was, Today I Am a Wealthy Man. Didn't have much to do with money. But here's what I said. I want you to jot these notes down. Here was number one. I said, I'm wealthy because of my heritage, my parents, my grandparents. My grandmother studied nutrition, passed it on to my mother. Back in those days when my mother studied and practiced nutrition, she was called like a health nut, right? Do you go back that far, right? Your parents or grandparents? They were called health nuts. They were studying vitamins and they were studying this. Mama used to mix up some of this stuff for me and Papa and said, if this don't kill us, I think it'll help. And we're, gagging this stuff down. My mother, with the practice and study of better nutrition, extended her life at least, the doctor said, at least 20 years. Said if your mother hadn't have done that, she wouldn't have lived that extra 20 years. He said when your mother died, the walls of her heart were paper thin. He said how she lived this last 20 years is incomprehensible. And then I told him, Mama used to do all the juices, had the distiller to distill the water, all the stuff that was considered kind of kooky, right? Back in the 40s and 50s and 60s. Herbs and twigs, something to smoke. But Mama did all that stuff. Extended her life over 20 years. My father lived to be 93, never had a major illness. I've never had one. Passed it on to my children, my grandchildren. Unbelievable. My heritage. What's that worth? It's worth a fortune. So you got to contemplate every once in a while your blessings, and part of your blessing is your heritage. Next is the heritage of your country. We that come from the free country, engaging in enterprise to start with $1 and make a fortune, become a millionaire. What value is that heritage? It's unbelievable. We enjoy the benefit of courts we didn't start. We enjoy the benefit of laws we didn't create. We enjoy the benefit of learning institutions we didn't found. We enjoy the benefit of medicine we didn't discover. Wow, heritage. Next, I said, I'm a wealthy man because of my experiences. Experience makes you rich. Here's what you must treat your experiences as commodity. You must treat your experiences as high value. You must treat your experiences as capital so that you can invest in the future what you've learned in the past. My experiences now have taken me around the world. A birthday celebration last year, right, in 16 cities. It was one of the most unbelievable experiences of my life. A group got together in Italy and gave me a helicopter tour of Sorrento, Naples, Vesuvius, the Isle of Capri, Pompeii from the air. Unbelievable experience.
God is not going to let the opposition delay you from your destiny. He has already scheduled your destiny moments. It may feel like you're falling behind. The opposition is holding you back. Stay encouraged. At the right time, that adversity is going to hurry out of your way. Red seas can't keep you from your purpose. God knows how to part those waters. Legal situations, companies that seem bigger, stronger, they can't stop God's plan for your life. It may feel like you're stuck. You don't see anything improving. Don't worry. God knows how to do a quick work. It can happen suddenly.
God pitch everything He has for you. in your imagination. So if you have been dreaming of your own business, if you have been dreaming of a summer home, it's 'cause that's what he got for you. He places everything he has for you in your imaginations. And then to quite worrying about how to get it. The how to in none of your business. The believe say acts believing. Receive now you gotta be willing, but he don't require you to it out. That how to in none of your business. We all have promises you are standing on. It's easy to believe it first. But what happens when nothing is improving before the promise come to pass? You have to go from I believe to I still believe. You are not disgusted by how long it's taking. How long it's taking, you know God is still on the throne. What He promised is on the way. God is looking for I still believe people. All the facts say it's impossible. You attended, is that okay? Can do this impossible.